Wow. Woo. Oh, I just don't know. That's my title today. And you'll find out where that came from in just a moment. But I want to start with a story. There was a woman that was driving through the mountains one night, and when thick fog suddenly started coming in, made it nearly impossible for her to see. Her headlights barely reached the road, and her GPS had lost the signal. Panic rose in her chest. She gripped the wheel tightly, whispering, "I don't know where I'm going. I just don't know what to do." Just then she remembered the words of her grandmother. When you don't know what to do, pull over, breathe, and listen. She found a safe turnout, and she parked the car and sat in silence. And in the stillness, she noticed the fog starting to lift ever so lightly. She took a deep breath. No clarity yet, but she had peace. This was enough to keep her going. Sometimes the fog doesn't clear right away, but peace can carry us through the unknown, one breath at a time. This week, someone had said something very, very hurtful to me, and it poked my heart really hard. This is me. My first reaction was hurt and shock, then anger, then a need to defend myself. You ever been there? You can all relate. Yes, right? I often go to the serenity prayer when things like that happen. When I'm confronted with something like this, I go to the serenity prayer, right? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. But I had had an emotionally hard day that day, and I was feeling overwhelmed, but mostly I was feeling sad. You ever had that where you just are sad? And sometimes you don't even know what it's about. I kind of knew what it was about, why I was sad. This was before the incident happened, right? And then the incident happened, and I spent the next 10 hours allowing my feelings of even more sadness to come in. This is an important piece I want to make sure you heard. That I allowed myself 10 hours of feeling those feelings. And as I felt the anger, as I felt the, how could you say that? And as I felt the overwhelming sadness that I had already been feeling, now it was really coming at me. It was, then this happened. Do you ever felt this way? That next one? I couldn't believe I found this slide. I'm not even angry or upset anymore. I'm just kind of numb. So as I allowed those feelings to come in and anger and all that happening inside of me, then I started just, I don't want to say dissipating, but then I felt numb. But then it was through that numbness that I realized I needed to tap into the sacred pause. Most of you know this by heart. Pause, pray, proceed. The sacred pause is very important. Sometimes I stress more about that pray, go back to the pause, right? And so that's where I was in the sacred pause. And that actual phrase, the sacred pause, comes from a Buddhist teacher. Many of you might know her, Tara Brach, and she's the one that coined that word, the sacred pause. It was time to tap into the sacred pause. It was time to pull over, breathe, and let the fog lift, even if it was just a little. I needed the fog to lift. This next one is a quote. It's actually adapted from Myrtle Fillmore's writing. I rest in the silence, not because I have the answers, but because I am willing to be held in the questions. That's important. I'm going to say it again. And if any of you are dealing with anything, I would take a picture of this slide. I rest in the silence, not because I have the answers, because I am willing to be held in the questions. I don't know why. I just don't know. That was my sitting in that question. I just don't know. Did you ever notice that human beings, we have this tendency to know that we are a culture that's obsessed with control and clarity. And when we don't have clarity, we kind of lose our stuff, right? And we've just got to, and especially if you are a get or done person like me and most of you, right? We have got to get clarity so that we can move forward, right? I've got to get clarity in this situation of how could this person ever say something like that, right? Don't you know me, right? So it's like sitting and breathing when you want to move into action, but you don't even know what action you're going to take. But you got to take some kind of action. So, because that's me, right? I got to move. But I also know, because I've had years and years and years of practice now of being in the stillness. And I know how to do it. But when I'm caught, it takes me a while. It took me those 10 hours to get into right thinking, as I've been talking about the last 2 weeks of Catherine Ponder's work. Getting back into right thinking. I rest. I love that part. I rest in the stillness. And it wasn't about me trying to come up with the answer. It was about me sitting there and questioning. Just sitting with the question. I don't know why. I don't understand. And it's amazing how answers will start coming. When we're uncertain or afraid, our nervous system wants to do something. That's that fear and flight part of our brain, right? So when we're uncertain or afraid, our nervous system wants to react. So don't blame it on that you're a get or done girl, Kathy. It's literally part of your brain nervous system that wants to defend and keep me safe, right? We want to solve the problems. I want to get the answers. I want to fix the feelings. I want to fix these feelings from this person, right? I want to fix it. But often our greatest wisdom arises not in the frantic searching, but in the surrender. The surrender. The sacred pause says, I don't know right now. And that's okay. Really? I'm going to say that again because that's the truth. I don't know right now. And that's okay. Breathe in, Kathy. I will pause, breathe, and let spirit catch up to me. Oh, I've run so fast in that fear and flight. Spirit's like, okay, I'm going to wait till you come back. And it's in that pause is when spirit shows up. Let's go to that Eckhart Tolle quote. Oh, let's see if you can read it. Wisdom comes with the ability to be still, just look and just listen. No more is needed. Are you kidding? No more is needed. Being still, looking and listening activities are non-conceptual intelligence within you. Let stillness direct your words and actions. Let stillness direct your words and actions. Yesterday, we had a chaplain gathering at my home for lunch. And we are so blessed with amazing chaplains here. And what a beautiful day to have the chaplains over for lunch in nature. We sat out on the porch. It wasn't too hot. It was wonderful. Birds were chirping. It was wonderful. But one of the chaplains had a challenge in the directions getting there, right? And they weren't sending the right place. And so there's a moment of frantic, right? We all have been there, right? I've lost, I've got my phone right here on my windshield, right? So I'm like tapping the GPS because why aren't you telling me the next turn? Right? Have you ever had that happen? You downloaded your maps and then all of a sudden your maps, some reason gets stuck and you don't know where to turn. And this chaplain did exactly what I just talked about. And the fog story. Pulled over, went into right thinking, breathed, sat in the stillness, and then knew his eye was on the sparrow. And she knew that she would find it. And she did. How do you practice the sacred pause? I want you to, there's a lesson in this. This is why I'm sharing my story, is because I needed to learn and remind myself, and then I get to share it with you so that you can work this in your own life with all the stuff that you deal with. Everybody's stories are different. I hope your story is a lot different than mine, but we all have these kinds of situations that come up. What do? How do we practice the sacred pause? One is stop and acknowledge how you feel. That was important for me. And it's important for you people who study New Thought, because there is a metaphysical malpractice in the pause. It's all good. I forgive it all. I forgive it all. It's all good. Right? So we know this. We know that you can give the universe anything you want to say. It doesn't speak English. The universe speaks heart energy. It speaks vibration. So you can say it's all good when your heart's spewing out. And then we wonder why it's not working. It's so true. So we've got to stop and acknowledge. I acknowledge that I was hurt. I was angry. I was acknowledging that I kept saying to myself, I just don't know. I just don't know. And then I found myself, do you realize how many times a day you say, I don't know? I look at the news app and I can just say, I don't know how this is happening. I don't know. I can go to a soccer game of my grandkids and think, I don't know why the umpire just said that. I don't know. I don't know which way to go. I don't know why my computer is stuck last night. I couldn't do anything. And on Saturday nights, I do a lot to just edit this scroll that you see that looks so effortless, right? But there's a lot of people that make that happen. Your little screens are touched by at least 5 people. That's excluding me. Make me number 6 on Saturday night at 10 o'clock. I couldn't move. So it says, I don't understand, right? So stop, acknowledge how you feel. Acknowledge, I was angry again at my computer. How's that working for you, Kathy, right? Then number 2 is breathe. Breathing is so important because the breath will change your vibration. I'm telling you, it will. Did your vibration change in the meditation? Oh my goodness, no? There was only a few going, Did your vibration change in the meditation? Be honest. How come? You were breathing, and we're talking about the word stillness, peace, breathing it out, right? Changes the whole nervous system, and you move from the fear and flight brain to the conscious and subconscious part of your brain, which is where you can move into peace. That is so important. Number 3 is allow. Allow. Oh, this is so important for me and for many people, is don't rush to fix it. I wanted to fix this situation. I didn't want to go to bed with anybody feeling angry at me or having ill feelings or believing that I'm this or that, right? Who does, right? And so you want to fix it. But sometimes the best thing you can do is go to bed and do step 1 and 2. Allow it, breathe, sacred pause, serenity prayer, whatever your favorite go-to is, prayer for protection, whatever it is that will get you into right thinking, and know that you don't have to do anything and you can pick it up tomorrow morning. You can pick it up tomorrow morning. Now, I used to love that saying, don't ever go to bed mad, right? Sometimes I think you just got to, right? I've lost a lot of sleep over that saying. And then how am I functioning the next day? But I'm just saying that we've got to quit trying to fix it and let spirit fix it. Let spirit fix it, because it has you in the best interest. It has you in the best interest. And the problem is that Kathy always wants to get back and take the steering wheel back. I'll drive, thank you, but you don't go fast enough. I have these conversations a lot with spirit, right? Okay, number 4 is listen. Listen. Be held in the question. Here's the questions maybe you could use. What is mine to know right now? Most of the time, that answer for me is nothing. What is mine for me to know right now? And if I stay asking that and allow, it comes. Or you can say, what if I don't need to know just yet? And if I ask that quite a few times, what if I just don't need to know yet? I can go to sleep. What if I just don't need to know? Is anything going to change in the next 7 or 8 hours while I'm sleeping? No. And I'll wake up a lot better. Let's show that next slide. Peace, be still. When you are looking into a body of water and the water is still, what do you see? Your own reflection. But if you get in there and go like that, stir it up, do you see yourself anymore? No. That is just a picture of an example of what stillness does for us and what trying to fix it will do. You lose your own reflection, and your own reflection is your spiritual nature. So you're losing it, and no wonder spirit can't get into you. It is because I'm too busy questioning, I need to do something. Why are they doing that? I don't understand. Am I the only one that deals with this kind of stuff? Because I'm telling the truth. I got up this morning, did my meditation outside with my cup of coffee. I said, maybe I don't need to do this. Maybe I need to change this whole talk around. Maybe this is all about me. And I really had to do some talking to say, I don't want my talks to ever be ego-driven. And so I'm like really working through this. And then I read through my notes because I'm open to change. At 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm always open to change. And many times I've scrapped a whole talk at 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. And then I was clear. I paused. I got in the stillness out in the trees. I'm in the stillness. And it was like, no, this needs to be, people need to know how to navigate through this. Excuse me. Once I stop, once I breathe, allow, I just don't know, and listen, I realized I didn't need to know anything just yet. And so I've been at peace. I have been at peace. In that fog story, it to me was so important. The sadness lifted. I became peace. I became peace. And I got my mojo back, and I went out, got my car, and went and visited people, and went and started being of service again. Because being of service drives me. It makes me happy. And so that's when I moved. And all those negative feelings and numbness all went away. I'm telling you, this is the truth. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to take any medication. I didn't have to take down a bottle of wine. No. Because what does that do? Just numbs it more, right? And then it comes back to you double. If we want peace, and we all do, right? I don't think you'd be in this church if that's not true, right? If we all want peace, we must be peace. Right. If we want peace, we must get into right thinking.